This is Mrs. Naslund, and today we'll be looking at Unit 4, Lesson 4, Triangles and Diagonals. Today, our learning targets are, I can recognize how two congruent triangles make a parallelogram, and I can discover how the diagonal of a parallelogram splits the figure into two congruent triangles. The vocab we'll be focusing on for this unit is triangle, quadrilateral, congruent, and diagonal. We'll discuss those vocabulary words as we come across them. All right, first we'll be talking about how you can make a quadrilateral by joining two congruent triangles together along a corresponding side. A quadrilateral is any four-sided figure. So above, all of these figures have four sides, so they are considered a quadrilateral. Congruent is when it is the same shape and same size. So you see these two triangles are the same shape, same size. They might have been flipped or turned, but that doesn't matter as long as they are the same shape, same size. So as you can see by looking at these images, when we combine these two shapes together, we get, in this case, a rectangle. When we combine these two shapes together, we get a parallelogram, and when we provide these two together, we also get a parallelogram. You'll notice that these are all the same triangles. It's just how we aligned the sides in order to make the shape. Let's practice that a little bit more. Here I have two triangles. I'm going to take this triangle. I'm going to go ahead and flip it around for you. Again, it's the same shape, same size, so these two triangles are congruent. You'll see that when I put them together, in this case, if I get them aligned right, I get a square. Now, I can take that same triangle, and if I move it down here, and again I'm aligning the two sides that are the same length, same size, I get a parallelogram. And one more time, if I move this one over here, again it's the same two triangles, I get yet another parallelogram. So as you can see, you can take two congruent triangles and you can combine them together to create different types of quadrilaterals. All right, let's look at some more examples. Here, we are supposed to match these different quadrilaterals to the shapes and see if we can figure out which ones fit with each one. So let's go ahead and try that. I'm going to look here and I see right away I see a right angle. Well, I look at all my choices up here and only V has a right angle. So I'm going to pull one of these down and see if it fits. If I can get it aligned correctly, it should fit. It looks like it fits pretty good. There we go. It fits perfectly. If I would pull another one down, I would be able to get the other one to fit there. So when I look at those, that one, triangle V, when two of them are combined together, it makes a rectangle. All right, how about number 5 here? What letter do we think fits? I'm going to go with this W here. Let's try this one. Now when I pull it down, it definitely doesn't fit the way it is. I'm going to have to rotate the shape in order to get it to fit. So let's try this here. See if I can get it to fit in there. Oh, that's a pretty good rotation. Yeah, it fits. Now this shape makes a parallelogram, but it also makes what we call a rhombus. Remember, rhombuses are when the sides here are all the same length. It almost looks like a turned diamond. So we can also say that it makes a rhombus. All right, how about number 6? Which one of these letters do we think makes number 6? If you said Z, I think you're correct. Let's try it and see. Might have to rotate it. See if we can get it to fit. Maybe. Oh, no, it doesn't fit there. What if I keep rotating it? Fit over here. Now in some of these cases we might actually have to flip the shape as well. But I think it will fit here if we just rotate it just right. Takes some finagling. But one way to practice this is to actually cut out the shapes and try it. So yeah, if I align that one correct, there we go. I think it would fit perfectly. So we're going to say that Z, when combined, two congruent Z triangles combined makes a parallelogram. How about this one? Yeah, I'm thinking it's probably Z again as well. But this time I'm looking at it and I think I'm going to actually have to flip the shape. So I'm going to put it here and I'm going to actually do a flip on my shape here. Let's see, yeah, that looks better, doesn't it? Yep, and there we go, now I got it to flip. So sometimes you have to flip your shape, and sometimes you have to rotate it to get them to fit. All right, how about number 8? Let's go for, should we try the X here? And see, I'm guessing we might have to flip that one as well, but we'll try it. Come down here, yeah, I think we're gonna have to flip it. All right, we're gonna flip that shape. See if we can get that to fit. Pretty close, I think. Yep, there we go. And last but not least, 9. What shape? Is it or V, W, X, Y, or Z? Let's try Y. You said Y. You were correct. What shape does that make? All of these shapes made a parallelogram. Yep. So you can see, oh, except for 9, this one made a rhombus. Why is this on a rhombus? Again, all of these sides are congruent, and so we get that nice, perfect, equal length side, so we get a rhombus. All right, one last page here. This one, we can also take our quadrilateral and draw a diagonal to connect the opposite sides of the quadrilateral to make the different triangles. So if I take my line here, you can see that I start with my quadrilateral, and this one is, what shape do we think that quadrilateral is? It is a square, a parallelogram, and a rectangle. It's all sorts of things. All right. And if I draw this, they want us to actually label it. So if you think back to our previous unit, we actually learned that in order to label triangles, we actually draw a triangle first, and then we go ahead and write the letters that go with it. So if I look here, I'm going to say that this is triangle A, B, and C. And then below it here, I would do the same thing. And I would say that this one right here is actually triangle C, D, and A. Now remember, when we're labeling triangles, we always want to start on the outside edge, and we want to make sure that that middle point is the middle letter that we label. So C, D, A. So let's go ahead and see here if we're correct. Yep, we've got triangle ABC and triangle CDA. Now, we've changed the diagonal, and now we label it different. So in this case, again, I draw the triangle. I'd have triangle BCD, and then I would also have triangle DAB. All right, now this one, first let's go ahead and think about, okay, what kind of shape is this? If you guessed it was a rhombus and a parallelogram, you were correct. Again, all of these are the same length. So we've got the rhombus and it's a parallelogram. Now we'd go ahead and label these triangles. This time I'm going to start here on E, so I would draw a triangle and I'd say it's triangle EFG. And then I would also draw my triangle and say it's GHE. There we go. All right, lastly, let's see if you could do this one on your own. We've got our triangle here. And let's go ahead and start with this corner here. So we're going to do, try to label this triangle right here. What would you get? You'd get triangle FGH, and this one would be HEF. There we go, that's correct. So today we talked about how we could take a quadrilateral and we could draw a diagonal to make two congruent triangles, or how we could take those two congruent triangles and combine them together to create a quadrilateral.